In the last episode, we explored how professionals are trained to disconnect in order to perform. Now we need to talk about what happens when that same nervous system pattern moves into romantic relationships. Because many high functioning men and women do not struggle in their careers, they struggle in love. And the reason is rarely incompatibility, it's regulation. Here is the pattern. You're competent, responsible, emotionally intelligent, capable of holding a lot. So when tension appears in a relationship, you manage it. When there is conflict, you regulate the room. When emotions escalate, you calm it down. When something feels off, you work harder. From the outside, it looks mature. From the inside, it is exhausting. This is overperformance in attachment. It's the nervous system saying, if I stabilize everything, I will not be left. High functioning adults often build relational success on internal override. You override your needs, override your hurt, override your anger, override your exhaustion. Because somewhere in your history, love felt conditional. So you learn to earn it. Overgiving becomes strategy. Competence becomes insurance. Emotional labor becomes protection. And if you are a healer, clinician, or coach in this pattern intensifies. You are trained to read microshifts. You are comfortable holding other people's pain. You get that trauma dynamic. So, in romantic relationships, you unconsciously become the regulator. You track their mood, you anticipate their triggers, you soften your truth to prevent rupture. You call it compassion, but sometimes it's fear of abandonment, fear of being replaced, fear of being too much. Now, let's be precise. Overperformance in love is not generosity. It is hypervigilance wrapped in responsibility. And here is why it eventually collapses. The nervous system cannot override itself indefinitely. If one partner is consistently regulating both nervous systems, resentment builds. Not because you're unkind, because reciprocity is just missing. Reciprocity is biologically necessary for secure attachment. And that polarity of the masculine and feminine, it's just got to be there for gelling. It's got to be there for that chemistry. When you overfunction long enough, one of three things happens. You burn out, you become critical, or you attract partners who underfunction. Now, that's not coincidence. It's nervous system complementarity. An overregulator often pairs with an underregulator because one stabilizes and the other destabilizes, and they both call it chemistry. But chemistry is often familiarity. If love in your early life required performance, you will feel drawn to relationships where performance is required again because the body confuses intensity with meaning. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. High functioning adults are praised for resilience, but resilience without boundaries becomes self abandonment. You say you're strong, but strength that never rests becomes depletion. You say you are just better at handling emotions, but sometimes you're just better at suppressing your own. And this is where the architecture collapses. You wake up resentful, disconnected, emotionally numb, or suddenly furious at the small things. Not because the relationship failed, but because your nervous system stopped overriding. When override stops, stored emotions surface. And this is usually the point when men and women reach out to me or to another coach. Reach out to me. That'd be great. Not because the relationship is beyond repair, but because they finally realize, I cannot keep carrying this alone. If you recognize yourself in this pattern, this is not about blaming your partner. It's about recognizing your nervous system strategy, and strategies can be examined safely. This is exactly what a clarity call is for. It's not advice, it's not diagnosis, and there is no judgment. There's just space to map out your pattern, to get a really good comprehension of where overperformance began and to identify where you are overriding in your life and to determine whether recalibration is possible. Many people assume they need to commit to a program to begin, but often they just need clarity first. Clarity reduces shame, clarity restores agency, and clarity interrupts that autopilot cycle. Because once you see the pattern clearly, you can choose differently. And awareness and choice is the beginning of sovereignty. So, overperformance in love is not weakness. It was intelligent and it did protect you. But you don't need to live inside protection forever. Secure attachment does not require overfunctioning. It requires mutual regulation, mutual responsibility, and mutual repair. If you are always the emotional stabilizer, then that's not a partnership. That's nervous system management, both yours and theirs, on your shoulders. And management is exhausting. The work is not to become less caring, it is to become less compensatory, to pause before you fix, to tolerate not regulating someone else, to allow another adult to hold their own emotional state. Now, that feels terrifying at first because your nervous system equates stepping back with risk of abandonment. But stepping back is not abandonment, it's a boundary. And boundaries are what allow desire and respect to grow and flourish. So if this resonates with you, don't judge it, just notice it. Because what you are noticing is not personality, it's patterning. So, in the next episode, we're going to zoom out even further. We are going to ask the biggest question: can personality actually change? If black and white thinking can soften, if overperformance can recalibrate, if attachment patterns can reorganize, then perhaps, just perhaps, identity is not fixed. Perhaps it is a pattern too. Remember, you are not broken, you are patterned, and patterns can be recalibrated.